morning, dear hearts. We are at lesson 66, and please subscribe. We are at the second giant stride lesson in the workbook, and today's lesson is my happiness and my function are one. We are making the connection between the achievement of our function, the performing of our function, and our happiness. And you can say, but wait a minute, weren't we told that forgiveness was my function or salvation is my function? And all of that is true. And we were also told, of course, that we are the light of the world. And as the light of the world, we are here to forgive, and we are here to have our part in the salvation of the world because of what we are. And it is through practicing forgiveness and being responsible, accepting our responsibility for salvation, that we will actually find our happiness. Our happiness is sitting out here for us, but we have to be able to claim it. There's, in this lesson, it's talking about the battle that happens between the ego and the Holy Spirit. That the ego is always trying to convince us what our function is and trying to convince us where our happiness is. But it's not a two-way battle, because the ego, is trying to do battle with the Holy Spirit and trying to get the Holy Spirit to respond to its attacks. But the Holy Spirit never responds because he knows where our happiness really is, and it simply will ignore all of the ego's machinations and assaults, because they mean nothing, because they're part of the illusion. This lesson has a philosophical part to it. It's called a syllogism, and it's given 3 lines, and if the first 2 lines are true, then the third line must be true as well. And it is, God gives me only happiness. He has given my function to me. Therefore, my function must be happiness. And so it's part 1 and part 2. The first 2 lines are true. Therefore, the third line is true as well, that my function is happiness. This lesson goes on to tell us that, God doesn't give us evil because God is not evil. God can only give us what he possesses, which is all that we can ever give as well. I cannot give you peace if I don't have peace. I cannot give you love if I do not have love. I can certainly not give happiness if I'm not happy. So because of this, only what God has is what is extended to us. And those are the things that are true. This lesson is, I think, the first time in the workbook that it says, let us try today to realize that only the truth is true. So only the truth of God is true for us as well. This lesson talks about something that we already know. There are 2 parts of our mind. There is the ego part that is made up of illusions, and there is the true, the holy part, where we are being guided to, because that is where truth abides. And the lesson, it has this wonderful paragraph in it that says, so look at the ego, and it's given us many forms of illusions to try to convince us what our function is and where our happiness is. Did any of it work? No, because it can't. Nothing that the ego can ever give us will help us to achieve our happiness, because the ego has no happiness in it. The ego is only made up of illusions. It's only made up of smoke and mirrors, trying to convince us that what is false is true, and that can never happen. Which again takes us back to, let us try today to realize that only the truth is true, and only what we are being offered by God, by the Holy Spirit, is indeed true. Practicing today, again, 10 to 15 minutes, sink into that. Try to go past, as it says, go past really all of the madness, go past the crazy ego thoughts, and listen and hear the truth of what you are and where your happiness truly lies. And then at least twice an hour to try to say, to yourself, my happiness and my function are one because God has given me both. God has only given us what is to our greatest benefit and highest good, and He has given us the means for us to find our happiness by fulfilling our function of forgiveness, so we will all be led to salvation. It's all the same. So that's it for today. I hope this helped. I hope you're happy. And please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, and please be here tomorrow. Namaste.